Hello and welcome everyone to episode number 40 at the Indie Football Podcast. The last episode was all about our journey, our experiences, the people we have met. And in this episode, we are looking forward to further expand, further embark on that journey. And for that, I think it's a fitting way to start off with yet another with another Liverpool fan who currently stays in Bangladesh, which is something that is one of our firsts in Indie Football Podcast. So thank you, Parthiv, for doing this, for taking the time out. Just tell us how are you feeling in this Sunday morning?
First of all, thank you for bringing me here. It's a great pleasure. I've been listening to a lot of your podcasts. So it's like great to be here. Firstly,
Yeah, Anukarsh sir, the going hasn't really been easy for you over the last 2 months now as a Liverpool fan.
Yeah, such has been the standard that not losing is now, considered an achievement at this point.
Yeah,
And honestly, I'm sure Parthiv can totally empathize with how shitty this season has been. And for someone who has been, doing so well in the podcasting industry himself. And Parthiv has been doing a great job when it comes to doing his own podcasts and having those live streams and being very regular at creating content. This is the first episode after the 1 year anniversary. So yeah, it's
yeah.
nice to have you here, man.
So we'll definitely come back to the current season and whatever Liverpool has been enduring over the past few months. But I'd like Parthiv to just spread a bit more light on, how his journey has been as a Liverpool fan, how it all started, and just tell me a bit about your association with football over the years.
so basically, this thing is a little bit of a family thing. My grandfather was a football player. Well, he wasn't a
Yeah,
very professional player, but he used to play for for our club back in our town. So they used to go to play in Nepal and all. And he was a goalkeeper. So growing up, somewhere or the other, I've had some kind of like talks with him, and whenever stuff came about, what are the clubs playing, it always used to come that Liverpool is playing, Liverpool is playing, Liverpool is playing.
yeah,
Then when I got around 13 or when I got around 11 years old, in Bengali there's something called a Poite festival. It's a church
yeah,
ceremony.
absolutely. Yeah,
So
the sacred thread
in
ceremony. Yeah.
exactly, so in that I got a PS3 as a gift. So the first
Oh,
game I played was FIFA 14. So
yeah,
after that, eventually, like there was some kind of inclination towards football, but it wasn't really, like completely as in towards Liverpool. But I used to follow it like in a little bit of a sense that what's happening, what's not. But then as I got into FIFA a lot more, FIFA 14, 15, 16, as it went down, football became a day thing for me. And I used to, when I was in India for like around 10, 11 years, I used to play cricket at the state level for my district. So around 17, 18, that time I started breaking football down, looking at it, what's happening, the strategies, the way these guys play. I mean, you see a lot of people on Twitter on how they break it down. I used to follow them and I used to like do the same thing myself. Like, can I do it? Is it possible? So from that and the thing when Liverpool started mostly in the 16, 17 era, when Klopp came in. The moment Klopp came in, a lot of people were inclined to watch this red team.
Absolutely.
And one of my first games as a Liverpool supporter was also a game where Mohamed Salah played. So I was just
yeah,
watching and there was this guy whose name was Salah. It was pretty funny in Bengali, was a slang word. So on one side you have a guy called Salah, on the other side you have a guy called Mane, and both are Bengali words. And they were just
yeah.
running it down, playing. So that's when I got intrigued. And the first game it was the 17-18 start of the season. We drew it 3-3. For me, very honestly, Premier League like I used to watch Premier League because of mainly one player or two players. One of them was Thibaut Courtois. At that time, Courtois was the OG. So he used to be my ultimate guy. So be like, "He कैसा खेलता है, देखते हैं इसको." So that's why I was like always watching him. वहाँ से the whole thing came out about like supporting Liverpool and all that.
Oh,
And
wow.
like, especially when we were on the verge of like when talks to sign Courtois instead of Karius, for Alison Becker, I was very happy. One of my favorites is joining the club I support.
I think it's a very strong backstory attached to it. Anukarsh sir, in these 12 months now, more than 12 months of various people coming in, and when we ask them about their journey of how they started off following football, and it's either one of the two things where they grow an affinity towards a particular team by watching them, or ever since there's a certain amount of family tradition, like Parthiv mentioned, his grandfather.
Absolutely. Also,
Yeah.
one thing I like to add in this is that in Bangladesh,
Yeah, yeah,
especially
please.
this I live in, Football
Yeah.
is a religion. They might not know football that much, but see, as Bengalis are always inclined towards football. Mohun Bagan
Absolutely.
versus East Bengal is one of the biggest derbies in the world. It's not that much watched, but if you go to the stadium, you will see more fans than like El Clasico. I can guarantee that. And when I was 11, 12, तो वहां से इंटेंशन की कि भाई ये लोग देख रहे हैं क्या देख रहे हैं मेरे को भी
Hmm.
देखना है
Yeah. That
because when
curiosity
India
is there.
Bangladesh happened when India Bangladesh happened I used to get abused.
Anukarsh sir, that's quite a story, right?
Yeah, definitely, man. Actually, I think that's like, as I have reiterated this before also, that the best part I like about the indie football podcast for me is these stories, and how people who were not very much into the game got inclined into the beauty of the game slowly and steadily.
Uh,
What I feel is that if implemented well, then Indian football can go a long, long way, because honestly, there's a lot of awareness. It's not that the game is dead. It's not like a game like netball where nobody is talking about it, or people are there to watch it, talk about it, as we are here talking about it. And honestly, something that we really can embark upon, unlike Liverpool's football season at the moment.
let's talk about Liverpool's form this season. Parthiv, what do you think?
See, one thing I'll tell you that when you're working professional, if you're working on a job, you cannot openly criticize your boss. कि भाई इसने
Hmm.
खराब किया मेरी गलती नहीं है मैंने बोला था you cannot do that. Currently, we are just not technical enough. We don't look confident at times. Some of our players are just there for a vacation. And see, our midfield was based on the fact that we pressure, we track back,
Hmm.
we go forward. Now it's either one of the two. Either you are pressing and tracking back, or you're going forward. People will tell you that defense काम नहीं कर रहा, attack अच्छा नहीं कर रहा, ये वो.
Hmm.
But at the end of the day, the midfield is really, really bad. If you
Yeah,
tell me कि जूट बिना
excellent.
नहीं आने वाला, मत लाओ भाई. बट तीन अच्छे midfielders लाओ at least.
I think that's an integral part of where Liverpool has been falling short or has been falling behind the curve. And Anukarsh sir, I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna narrow it down to two people. Like, what are your thoughts on Pep Linders and how Harvey Elliott, one of I think he's the only guy who started all matches this season for Liverpool. He's young. He's been able to put the runs, and how these two people have influenced, or in the next 3 months can influence Liverpool to sort of put up a resurgence of kind.
I would like to talk about Harvey Elliott, someone who might not have started all the games, but who has featured in all the games, as you mentioned, this season. Now, what has happened with Harvey Elliott is that last season he started off the season very, very well. When Liverpool were, putting up a title charge, he got injured. He was very unlucky with that in Liverpool versus Leeds United game. He has been doing very well, and I really think that he has been a very positive point this season for Liverpool. Having said that, I really feel that him being thrusted into the lineup when it's been a difficult season. We have seen Cody Gakpo coming in for Liverpool.